Breathe in, move, listen. Invite Jesus to your space.
Welcome everyone. Let's start in the middle of our mat. If your body needs to move for a little bit, you're always welcome to give your body what it needs. But I'm actually going to start right into our first yin hold in restorative Supta Baddha Konasana. So opening up our heart, go ahead and lay all the way back down. And if your body needs to move, honor and respect that. But maybe it will be okay to just open up the chest and for a couple minutes to ground down. If you have a block or two, there's two different options here. You could take one long, or you can do a bolster and one on the back of your head, tall. So this is how we're just starting to open up the chest and the heart in restorative Supta Baddha Konasana. So if you don't have blocks, you could take a bolster. If you want to extend your knees out, you can do that. So the bolster or a pillow, you don't have to bolster. You could have a pillow at home, place it right underneath the back, and then open and drop the head back to the earth. So this is the opening of the heart. You can extend the legs long. You can put the soles of the feet together. And if the tension in the hips is a little too much, take another pillow or a block or a bolster underneath those knees. This yin practice has begun, but let's begin to invite the breath, the most important part of our practice. This beautiful lifeline to our heavenly home, this guide on our journey. You could put one hand on the belly or one hand on the heart, hands on the knees or out to the side. So during our practice, the mind might start to wander. And this breath is what we'll be coming back to. Can you witness the breath start to travel, even in various areas of your body? Maybe not even specifically in the nose or the mouth. And maybe you feel it in the throat or the chest or the ribs. But maybe you can feel it in the belly. In this particular asana, as your hips start to open, can you actually start to feel the breath move in and out of those achy spaces? Those places that are holding energy that may be blocked. And can you visualize sending warm, peaceful, or cooling breath to circulate right in the spaces, lubricating the joints of the hip? Maybe that breath travels in and down all the way to the toes, all the way out to the floor, the earth below. Just take a moment to just be right here. Exactly where you are. You've made the first step, carving out that time for you. There's nothing else that takes precedence over this moment. The to-do list will always be there, so make this time yours. Allow the facial muscles to soften, the place between the eyes, the third eye, soft and supple. Even the tongue just lays softly in your mouth. The jaw is loose, soft. Pranic energy moving in and through your body. Another reason why we ground to the breath is not only to connect to divinity or wherever that is spiritually in your life, but also because the breath makes the body lighter. That spiritual release, heavy burdens that may be placed on our shoulders or our hips. So just feel the whole body lifting higher and higher to heaven above. The heart is open, the hips soft. And if you find a time where the hips feel dull or achy, and you may want to retreat from this posture, remember, never wait for permission to come out of a posture that's electrical, sharp, or shooting pain. But if you're just experiencing slight discomfort, try to pay attention and be aware of where the discomfort is coming from. And then allow the breath to start to soften those spaces. Maybe even bringing a visualization of cooling or warming breath. Feel into those spaces that are holding the tension inside. And just a few more moments here with your breath, setting our intention today. Bring this thought to your mind in particular. Are there times this week, last week, this month, even the beginning of this year or last year, has the mind asked you, am I measuring myself at how successful I am, or how others project me as good or not? Maybe this thought or misbelief, mistruth has crept into your mind at some period. So let's view failure as a different perspective today. Allowing us to visualize that when we invite Jesus to our mat, on and off the mat, He can do impossible things in our lives. He can open up peace and contentment and joy that you wouldn't normally expect after failure. So as we start to get out of the thinking mind and into the feeling body, let's check our attitude, our thoughts, our beliefs, and replace that space with loving kindness, that perspective coming from Him, allowing yourself to be distant, maybe visualizing your body lying on the floor. Step into the passenger side of the vehicle, your body, and invite Christ to your space. Let Him be your guide. You are arrived here in this physical body, in this beautiful vehicle, to show up for all parts of your life, even the difficult parts, even those parts of failure, and show up from a place of gratitude. As we start to move out of this yin posture, you might choose to wiggle the fingers, extend the legs, take time, and bring yourself, whether you remove your block or your prop, start to pull yourself up nice and slow. Maybe we take the legs wide and windshield wipe those knees. Just take some time to move into the physical body, rolling yourself up nice and slow, removing those props or blocks, and come up to a seated position. Roll out places in the body that may still be tense. We'll bring movement to the body before we go into another yin posture. So let's just figure out what's happening inside check-in. Maybe it's half circles, maybe you're moving your spine, or you might even take the breath and move it out of the side of the knee or through center. There's no right or wrong. The body will tell you where it needs to go as you follow this breath. And maybe you choose to hold one side a little bit longer because you start to feel a little more dull achiness in one section of your body versus the other. Always balancing out rights and lefts though. Maybe we switch the legs to feel that sensation on the other side. And just start to notice where that tension lies in the body. Constantly doing this body scan, moving into the feeling body. Notice where it is, no judgments or expectations, but just move your breath with it. We're trying to keep both sitting bones grounded on the earth wherever we are And maybe it's an extension up and over the arm. Really just feel into this movement of the idea of somatic yoga, feeling what's going on inside of your body and meeting your body exactly where it needs to be met with your breath. One movement, one breath. You working through your feeling body, and that will look different than mine or anybody else that's practicing with you. It will look different tomorrow as it did yesterday. So gently start to move out the head and neck, maybe move out the cervical spine. We'll inhale, reach the hands high to the heaven above. Good. And exhale, scapular retraction. Good. Just warming up the shoulder before our next yin posture. I'm going to open up the shoulders this morning, or whatever time of day that you're practicing. Morning is always my go-to. We'll move over to our bellies and come all the way to the ground. So moving into the shoulder, the pectoral muscle, we'll actually take there's two options or variations. Extend the arm long to not have so much tension on the shoulder, or you'll adjust it according to the sensation you need to feel. That other hand will tent on the floor. You'll pick up the right leg if your left arm is extended and start to roll and open through the chest. That left temple will fall to the earth below. And if that foot doesn't touch the earth, that's okay. Just feel into the space that feels right. So we're moving into the spine. We're moving into the opening of the pectoral muscle. And we're not going to be holding this one particularly as long. If you need extra sensation, you could pick up that bottom straight leg, tuck it into the crevice of the knee, and feel a little bit more extension in the shoulder. Good. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. So bring this sensation into about a 2-minute hold here. Feeling what feels right, letting the body scan, and use the breath to find your arrival spot. If you feel the body can go deeper, this is where you'll make adjustments. And again, know if that particular pose is not serving you, you may choose to come out, make some adjustments in the elbow, if you need to go long with the arm, or give a little bit more intensity through the shoulder. You'll know what to do as you close the eyes, ground into the earth with your sinking body, and let the breath allow the body to become lighter and lighter. Let's find the experience that we personally need. Where can you find the breath inside of the body? Where can you let the breath quiet the mind? And if the mind continues to spin, to chatter, this is where an intention or a mantra would come into play. Whether that's in English or a foreign sacred sound, your mind, your body will tell you. Allow it to be positive, beautiful belief of truth. Allow your body to melt with the sound over and over. You're doing a beautiful job. Hear the sound of your breath create a symphony of life inside of the body. What do you notice inside? And maybe those sense of awareness comes up in places that you would be surprised. It may not even be the shoulder or the hips or the spine. Wherever it is, take a beautiful breath. We're almost there. And on that exhale, make it long, steady, and slow and controlled. Maybe you even audibly let go of the breath to release out of that posture. You did a beautiful job, so slowly start to come out. Whenever you're ready, it may feel a little dull and achy. So let's just press into it. Maybe we just adjust the body out. However it feels good, you need to stretch before we go into the second side. So move out the body. Maybe it's a cat and cow. Listen to your body. What feels right with the spine, with the breath. Head and neck, making sure that we have those starfish fingers on our mat, finger pads and knuckles. I really feel where the recovery happens in the body. And then we'll start to move into the second side. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and come all the way back down to our bellies. And notice where the tensious parts of the body, the difference between the right and the left side of the body. Yoga is about awareness of the body, of the breath. So again, we'll take that other side, whether it's a straight arm or a bent elbow. This other fingers will come and tent up. This elbow kind of heads up to heaven above. Then we pick up that opposite leg. Start to lift up tall, open the chest, open the heart. And then maybe that toe touches the other side. Maybe it doesn't. You'll want to feel into this. The temple will lower towards the earth. Where do the adjustments need to happen here? So close down the eyes. It's not about what the pose looks like. It's about what the pose feels like. And maybe you're feeling a little tension in the shoulder. You may need to straighten the arm. You might need to come up a little bit higher. You know best. I can't feel into your body as you cannot feel into mine. So you are the guide here with your breath of where those sensations need to be felt, explored, released. And then when we start to feel tensious or tight or a feeling of retreating out of this posture, can we just take a little bit deeper breath here? Maybe I'll invite Christ to our mat, allowing ourselves to sit in the passenger seat. And as you begin to breathe into this posture, maybe giving a couple of moments of thought here to this idea about feeding the 5,000. I just listened to a podcast or a speech, BYU speech, Dallas Jenkins. He's the creator, producer of The Chosen. And the beautiful talk that he talked about or presented, this idea that as we breathe into this portion of our body, is this idea of doing impossible things or feeling that when our failures don't look the way that we want or our successes, are we putting a lot of pressure on ourselves by feeling like that we need to feed the 5,000? And as you start to feel into your body, does your body feel desperate for healing to release this idea or belief where you become so humble and teachable, maybe through your breath, this breath of life connected to your heavenly home, this invitation to bring Christ to your mat, knowing that the only thing that can satisfy this healing in your body is that plea or desperation for Him to enter your space. Knowing that He only asked for the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, nothing more. That expectation of feeding the 5,000 sometimes is placed upon our shoulders by ourselves. So, what misbeliefs are you holding in your mind? Can you let that go with one more deep, sinking breath? Good. When you're ready, start to move out that section of the body and notice the differences in the right and the left. How do you feel into the shoulders, into the hips and the spine? Allow yourself to take grace and mercy for your body. Move out anything tense or tight. Maybe you even tuck up your toes and feel the fleshy parts of the feet open and expand. Move out the side of the hips. Open out the spaces that feel dull and achy. Maybe the shoulders roll down and back. Maybe those arms come up and over to feel that rotator cuff again. Bring movement into the body. You could even take those arms across the chest. And then the other side, whatever feels good. Maybe it's a tricep stretch. Our next posture, our yin hold, will be our anahata, our puppy pose, heart melt. You can come into it a lot of different ways. You could actually use a bolster, a pillow, or a block. So there's a lot of variations. I'll let you experiment with this. If you need a blanket to come underneath your knees for extra padding, that's also a great posture choice. You could move into anahata, make sure that those hips are directly stacked over the knees. When we start to walk down over the body, sink the forehead to the earth. We're going to be holding here for a few more minutes. Come out whenever you need to and listen to your body. So we're going to start to extend the heart. Maybe you bend the elbows, whether the forehead is to the earth or the bridge of the nose, possibly the chin or the chest. And if you're starting to sink into this and you need to move your pillow out, you could. You're going to make adjustments as the body starts to open. So you're never locked into a certain posture. That's when we begin to listen to the body, make good choices as the body starts to surrender and open up. So let's allow ourselves to go inside of the body, close the eyes, and witness everything that's happening right here, right now. Allowing us to witness joy regardless of happiness. Maybe even freedom regardless of opportunity. And allow yourselves not to hold on to things too tightly here. Realizing that we're always able to be taught, to become, and to learn. When we stop caring about what other people think, make our 5 loaves and 2 fish a worthy offering and acceptance. We choose to participate. Then He makes the miracle out of it. Remember to let go of the stress and tension in your body that's holding on this idea that you need to feed the 5,000. That wasn't part of the plan. He just asks for your 5 loaves and your 2 fish. And as you follow your breath, start to explore what that offering might be for you right now in your life. Whether we're feeling failure or success, remember it's just 5 loaves, not 7. 2 fish, not 5. Just like Dallas Jenkins said, more people are not fed if you offer more. He does the impossible math. He brings the miracles. So breathe into the space. Let the heart melt. Feel that breath move in and out of those shoulders, the chest, and recognize any depleting emotion that might arise here. And when you feel that depleting emotion rise up, make the choice to change. Move into a positive, renewing emotion. A positive, renewing mantra, intention, belief, which is truth and light. You're doing a beautiful job. We are almost there. One more movement of breath coming in and out of your physical body. And as you've let that physical body surrender, the emotional, mental, and the allowing of the acceptance of the spiritual body to come in, we'll gently and slowly start to extend out. Walk those knees in nice and slow. There could be some dull achiness in the shoulders that we stretched out. We opened up the heart center. So again, start to move out the body in a way that you need to offer that grace, that mercy. Maybe it's a chest expansion behind the back. Maybe it's not. Just choose into the space of where your body needs to move, needs to release. Maybe it's even tucking the toes and bicycling out the heels to bring some movement in the calves. Feel the dull, achy stretch in the back of the legs. Again, just move with the sensations of your body. What is that your body needs in this particular moment? Check in with the breath. Maybe giving yourself that audible breath or resetting breath, a sighing release. During our puppy or anahata pose, there's a lot of heart and a lot of shoulder, and then it descends down into the spine, but not really dull, achy in the base of the spine, mostly in the heart opener in this portion of our body. So if that neck is all bothering you, roll it out. Again, roll out anything tense or tight. Let's bring some more movement in the back of the calves before we go into that next yin posture. Bicycle out, take up space, maybe wag your tail feather. And just explore your mat. Explore this mini laboratory. These borders, it might feel good to take one hand to the center of the mat, one behind the back. Maybe you'll reach for the outside calf if that feels good. Looking under the opposite armpit. And maybe always just making sure that we balance rights and lefts. We'll go a little bit deeper in the hips next, so move out the space that is tense and tight. Might even be a three-legged dog, might be stacking your hips, flossing it out. Wherever you arrive is exactly where you need to be. So when you're ready, go ahead and bring it down to the earth, all the way to your sitting bones. We're moving into log stacking or fire log. So grab your pillows, your blankets, your bolsters, whatever feels good. So if this is tense or tight for your body, we can always give adjustments here. Log stacking, we take this beautiful triangle, so we kind of parallel the front shin, and then we stack the foot right on top of the foot, so not in the inner crevice, but right on top of the knee. This may be where our play is. Most importantly, take those two push pins, those sitting bones, and just anchor them to the earth. Lots of tall spine. If you're feeling a lot of tension in the hip, you could always sit on a blanket behind you to prop your hips up a little bit higher to release the tension in your hips. We talk about a stackable ladder, so important of leading with love and light through the crown of the head, because it helps open up our connection to the divine, helps open up this breath source, open up our lung capacity into, and helps us connect with our emotional, mental, spiritual bodies into this almost like lifeline, I think, to our heavenly home. So find out where this space is for you. You may even choose to put a block in between if you need to have some support there, or a pillow or a blanket. So you might start here, and this might just be enough for you. What I want you to do is close your eyes, allow yourself to go inside of the body, keep the crown tall, and then start to make these adjustments with the body that feels right for you. You even choose to create a ramp here with your body. Oh, that might be a little too tall, so for myself, but if wherever you feel, the goal is really not to reach the floor on the other side, but the goal is to open the heart and the spine so much that the body, the spine does not collapse. Because once we start to collapse, 30% of our lung capacity goes away just like that. So let's just start to close down the eyes, let the breath move through the body. This is not a judgment, expectation, or competition with your body or someone else's. Let's just move the body and the breath where it needs to go. Recognizing where the healing needs to take place, the tension. And listen to the symphony of the sound of the breath. And a lot of times people will say, oh, my foot starts to hurt a little bit. You might be putting too much pressure on the curling of the ankle, trying to put it more really on top of it. It's going to be a little bit more tension here. If we slide it down, we've kind of we're not really targeting into the piriformis. So allow yourself to sink into the right place and know, yeah, that feels a little discomfortable. So that's where I start to breathe into it, breathe into this discomfort. Instead of trying to accomplish what the pose should look like, that's why we close down the eyes, connect with the breath, and let ourselves feel the posture. Let go of the shoulders, the tension in the shoulders. Don't let them creep up into the ear. Sometimes we compensate by moving out of alignment because we want to flee or fly from this posture, and that's okay. Recognize that when it happens, and when it does, allow yourselves to make adjustments. And maybe that knee starts to come up a little bit more, but that's okay. Work from a tall spine, open heart. And feel into it. Breathe. Let that breathing sensation move through your body. Send that cooling or warm breath wherever that release and rest is for you, into the space of those tensious areas, into the space of discomfort. Our hips tell quite a story, and so much tension is held in the hips themselves, especially for women. So as a thought comes up, an emotion, maybe you might feel angry or frustrated or sad, don't flee from the discomfort. Let's not get away from where the real emotion comes up. Let's experience it. Stay with it and don't suppress it. Let those emotions come out with your breath, your intention. Get to this place of forgiving, giving this portion to God. Why do we run from so many hard things? What can we do to stay in it and learn from it? Of course, this is a practice that I have to show up every day on my mat. That's why I show up every day. Is not just for the physical body, but the healing from the inside out, for the mind, the emotions, the spiritual strength. Experience it all. And remember that it's not your job to feed the 5,000. It's only to provide the loaves and the fish that He's asked us to bring. That's it. He does the impossible math, just like Dallas Jenkins says in his Fishes and Loaves speech. He makes the difference. Impossible math. Last beautiful breath. Don't flee from this, but really, really experience it. Let that exhale be as long and as slow and as controlled as you can. You did so good. So good. Gently and slowly start to come out however your body needs to feel this. So if it's slowly, you may choose to windshield wipe the knees, anything that feels tense in the body, let it go. You may even need to come into another type of posture of movement with the hips. Maybe it's lizard. Whatever you need to experience in your physical body to stretch that out, that we just let go of. We worked on that fascia. The reason why we hold these for so long is because that's when the actual release of the fascia happens. The longer we can hold, the longer that elastic band allows itself to stretch instead of snap and break because it's so brittle. So let's get ready to do that second side. Take whatever time you need for your body. And then we'll move into the second side. So hopefully you remember which one was forward. And if you don't, feel into it. Really be aware of what's happening in your body. Once you get into the posture, your body will be, oh no, that feels like I've already done that before. So take the time that you need to find the perfect alignment, the sensations. It definitely could be dull and achy because that's what we're doing. We're creating artificial stress and tension on this physical body to deal with it better in the real world. So maybe find that little triangle inside, this fire log, this stackable log. When we drop into the crevice, we actually don't have the stackable log anymore. So try to put it up here. We might need to prop here. Of course, we want to ground down the hips, the two sitting bones down into the earth so that we feel them and we're tall through the crown. We open the heart, so we've opened up all of that lung capacity. No judgments and expectations here, so start feeling that discomfort of where it lies in your body. Close down the eyes and don't suppress the tool. It's your breath, that lifeline, that divine intervention that brings more breath in and out of the space of your physical body to heal the emotional body, the mental body with your mantra or sound. A lot of times I will constantly be meditating to a mantra in my mind of Mandarin Chinese because it is a tonal language. And it balances right and left sides of the brain, balances the nervous system because it uses both. It allows me to help decrease mental deterioration, so it may just be even that. Let God, maybe something simple as that. Rongshen, and whatever it is for you, pick it. Stay with that beautiful, positive belief to get you through a discomfortable situation. To rewire those thoughts, attitudes, and beliefs. The mind is a muscle and it has to be worked. So use your breath, your intention, the discipline of the mind, whether it's that intention, the mind, the sound of pranic energy moving through your body. And again, if you feel that mind wandering away, it's okay. No judgments, no expectations. Just come back. Just like Christ said, it's okay. You've wandered. Where are your beliefs? Are you listening to the right voice? And all he wants us to do is just come back to his voice and be held in the loving arms of the divine. So come back to that belief of love, of light, of strength and truth. Reminding ourselves that it's very normal to feel emotions in these hips. So allow those emotions to move through the body. Emotion is energy in motion, and it needs to be moved. So follow your breath and the sound. And move into the space of love, being held, being supported. And in this moment, just like Dallas Jenkins even said, don't wait for God to break you down. Don't wait till you're too old and everything seems to fall apart. Don't wait another day. Surrender now. Open your heart and listen. Listen to the words that Christ would have you think and feel. And then let God. Rong Shen, Rong Shen, Rong Shen. Let God. If you want tonal vibration and sound, moving your frequency, your vibrations in your body, allowing the organs to come into homeostasis with the vibratorial sound inside. Because Chinese is one of the most ancient sacred sounds, that's why I use it. It helps balance that both left and right side of the brain. Vibrational healing tone. And if that's not serving you, come back to the breath or your own intention. This is your last breath. You did a beautiful job. Let it go and let God. Rong Shen. Gently come out. You're free to wiggle out the hips however they need. Don't rush out of it, but be with it. We have time for one more yin posture. So move out the body before we get into that last yin, before final relaxation. What feels good? So a couple of variations you could do. Maybe we'll do one more hip release. If you don't feel like you got enough upper body release, you could do another upper body release of yin, not pose, open the shoulders. But I think I'll go into another hip opener. There could be two options here. Frog would be a really great yin to hold if you're feeling like you want to move into the hips that way. I'll demonstrate that. I think I will hold dragonfly today just because that's what my body's feeling. But if frog is where you're going, you'll want to, maybe you'll even pad up under the knees if it's feeling strenuous there. We'll be here for 3 minutes. So You'll be able to directly align your hips over your knees, and then this is where you'll find a block or a bolster to come into, to sink down in it. And as your body starts to open up, the legs might start to go out more and more. So again, to come out of that posture, I'll cue that, how to safely come out. But I'm going to hit the dragonfly today, wide-legged straddle. You hit which one is good for you. So getting into dragonfly today, we'll start the timer here. Start wherever you need to be. Hips lift up and open. Toes go high to heaven above. Fill out. Remember, extend through the crown of the spine. And allow your heart to open. Keep that breath going. So this is where every variation is going to depend. Whether this is enough for you, sit up here, close down the eyes. And then every moment we'll make these adjustments as our body starts to surrender and open up. So we'll close down the eyes. Feel what feels good in our bodies. And we'll gently and slowly start to move into this posture, however the body allows us to open up. Close down your eyes and find out where you are. Beautiful lengthening up through the spine, whether you're in frog or dragon. Dragonfly. Allow the heart to open, the light to shine through the crown, and really feel into the sensations of the tension. Closing down the eyes, softening up the facial muscles, and even doing the most difficult pose of all is allowing the sides of the mouth to curl up into a smile, finding joy in this pose, joy in this moment, joy in the discomfort, joy in the breath, joy in the experience. So continue to supply the breath, not to compromise your lung capacity. No rounding of the spine or lumbar spine, but lead straight through the heart space. It will take more time getting there this way, but that's okay. We're really working on that deep release of the fascia inside of the hips, the inner thighs. We are halfway there. You're doing a beautiful job. Breathe it in. You're exactly where you need to be. And start today, right now, to get to this place of giving whatever is going on inside to God. And just let God. Rong Shen, Rong Shen, Rong Shen. If that tonal vibration feels like it resonates with you, there's so many health benefits behind it. Invite it in. But if your breath is exactly where you need to be, or another intention or a sound, then be there. We don't have to take the burden of the 5,000. It's not our job. Realize what your job is right now in this particular moment. And it's only to provide your open heart, your loving heart to Christ, to feel, to experience, and to witness His love and His light, to provide a humble, willing heart. And He makes up all the difference, that impossible math. Can you slow the breath down just a little bit more? Knowing that as we slow the breath down, we lengthen our inhale and our exhale, providing peace in the nervous system to find a longer lifespan. We find joy regardless of happiness. We find freedom regardless of opportunity, knowing that happiness is not a destination, but maybe finding that happierness, not holding on to things too tightly. Apangara is one of the yamas of the 8 limbs, not attachment. It's wonderful to enjoy all the beauties of this life and enjoy life, not just endure it, but at any given moment, being able to drop those things of attachment and run into the loving arms of the divine. That is Apangara. Two more breaths. We are almost there. Remember, you're never needing to wait for permission to come out of a posture if it's sharp electrical. But if it's just discomfort, try to stay with it. That's the last breath, and try not to come out too quickly. The body's going to be a little achy. If you're in frog pose and you chose that, you'll want to bring those toes into the pelvic floor first. Bring the knees in nice and slow. And then take your time to move everything out. Maybe you grab underneath the knees to bring those in. And start witnessing all of the benefits that you gave to your physical body today. Take your time to wiggle out, freeform, however you need to travel. And then come into your Shavasana, your final pose of rest, whenever you're ready. Maybe you need to give yourself a nice loving hug, or an extension or inversion, legs up the wall, a plow pose, whatever feels right in your body. Just take the time to do so now. And then take this moment to relax into the earth below. You may even feel some discomfort in the back a little bit, windshield out wipe, or take a bolster or a pillow or a blanket and tuck it underneath your knees. Bend the knees, however, or let the legs extend and allow the feet to flop open. The hands could be upward for receiving or downward for grounding. This is a time of marination. Shavasana should never really be skipped. It's one of the most important poses of the practice. It's one of those, I worked hard, I deserved it, I arrived, so why deprive yourself of it and skip it? Just let the breath move in and out of your body freely. Maybe pay attention to that breath as it kind of allows that symphony of the beating of your heart. And know that you are home. Home to all the love and light. Your experience in this world around us. So come home to the breath. Come home to the sound of the heart. Let the physical body melt into the earth. And let the spiritual body become lighter and lighter with breath as it moves in and out of the heart. Allow yourself to soften through the facial muscles. And let the eyes be soft, even the sockets behind the eyes. Let go of the tension between the two eyes. And allow yourself to open up the third eye, to see beyond your natural eyes. And let the ears be open to hear what is not said as you invite Christ to your mat, to your space. Let the knees be soft and the feet heavy as two rocks. This is your Shavasana. Invite him in and enjoy his presence as if he is already here. You are home. And if it's time for you to move on with your day or release your mantra, take a moment to let there be silence. Check your surroundings, the noises inside the room, maybe even the noises outside of the room. Maybe you see your whole body lying on the floor, or you start to bat your eyes open to take all that is in this physical space, whether it's wiggling the fingers or the toes, or allowing yourself to stretch out your physical body into a beautiful pencil stretch, and then taking any restorative or transformational posture of your choice, coming into this feeling of transformation, cradling the body and the hand and becoming as a child, submissive, meek, ready to learn and take forward, ready to come and offer those 5 loaves and 2 fishes. And just say, I will. Come up to any seated position of your choice to close off our practice today. Feel free to move any direction that feels pent up or stagnant still. Bring that blood pressure back into the body. Bring the breath back into the body. Reach heavy, high, high, high to the sky. Biggest breath we've taken. Reach and listen. Allow the hands to transform all the way into the third eye, the space between the 2 brows, to seek. Seek for truth in Him. And then all the way into the heart space. Feel the heart beating in your chest as you awake and arise. Building that foundation on Him. Feeling the freedom in Christ. Thank you for joining, showing up for yourself and your body and breathing today. This beautiful place of love and light that exists in me now and that exists in you now also exists in everyone in this world around us. So let's take all that we have learned, all that we have grown, and bring that message of light and love up into your day and to the world around us. Namaste. Have a beautiful and blessed day.